Good morning. It is currently 6:35 a.m. on Wednesday, April 15th, 2015. I am Christiana Ellis and I just got up. This is 5 more minutes. I'm slightly at a loss for what to talk about today. In this case, not like I have been a couple of times before where I just sort of feel like, oh, everything sucks. I don't know what to talk about. Anyway, though, I'm in the position this time of feeling like there's several things that I feel like would be excited to talk about, except that none of them are particularly well suited for this conversation. For example, there's a logic puzzle that originated in Singapore that's apparently going the viral circuit. Although I'm actually a little bit confused why that particular one went viral, because it seems like a relatively straightforward logic puzzle to me. I mean, I don't know what's so special about that one. It's certainly not impossible. Um, I don't want to brag, but I solved it. But at the same time, a video describing how I solved a logic puzzle that everybody else was worked up about, that's kind of a weird video. I saw a couple of other YouTube videos that I thought were pretty exciting or interesting to talk about, but really I think those are better served just by linking you to those videos so you can watch them rather than me talking about them. And then lastly, I am really excited about something that happened in the episode of Daredevil that I watched last night, and I feel like I want to talk about that, but spoilers! Episode 10, by the way, is the one. Maybe what I'll talk about is, although I'm loving the show, and this has nothing to do with the show itself, maybe I'll just talk about how I don't care for Netflix's binge-watching model. Now, I'm not talking about when they're putting up past seasons of old traditional shows, because especially if someone is watching something that's kind of already out there, or they're trying to catch up so they can start watching something live, the binge watching is something that, it's a get caught up feature in my mind. And so if people want to binge watch, that's great. But I don't like it for brand new original shows, because it prevents people from being able to have discussions where they're all at the same place in the show. My coworkers watched the whole series already. Another friend's only on episode 4. So who do I talk to about episode 10 where none of us is having to say, well, I know what happens, but I have to pretend that I don't so I don't spoil you. Or, I don't know what you're talking about because I'm not that far yet. One of my favorite parts of watching TV shows is that discussion of, oh my gosh, what happened this time? What do you think's going to happen next time? And it being fun because everybody's on the same page. You can discuss the details of one episode without already, there's whole internet websites dedicated to this. The Onion's AV Club, for example, does recaps and that's people do recaps all over the place for shows like Game of Thrones or The Walking Dead, and I think that stuff is great. I really enjoy those, but it's completely dependent on people all being at the same spot in the show. And when you release the whole season all in one go, sure, you have some people, the diehards, who are going to spend all weekend and watch through it all at once. But not everybody has time to do that. And so now those people can't have a conversation. Because if they were both at episode 2, they could talk about episode 2. But now they can't. And so I'm annoyed by that. And also, as a creative, I can only imagine what it would feel like to work on something for a year, put it out, have a whole bunch of people consume it in one day, and then say, where's season 2? Luna, come on! that seems like you're setting yourself up for all sorts of issues that way. I don't know why you don't. I mean, I guess theoretically it's like you don't have to do it all at once, but like, other networks could do that too if they felt like that was a good idea. They could say, oh, hey, we went ahead and we made our whole new season of Mad Men, and so we're just going to all show it on a marathon just one Saturday. Oddly enough, they don't do that. I wonder why. Maybe it's because it's not a good idea. I think Netflix just got so in love with this whole thing that binge watching is like part of their identity, is that people like to binge watch, that they do it. And, I'm not saying that it's like wrong for someone to decide to binge watch the show. I mean, obviously that's fine. If it's available, go ahead and watch as many of them as you feel like you want to. But not everybody's going to be able to watch that many, and so you're going to be out of sync. Aggravating. Anyway, not a big deal. So that's where I'm at today. I guess I remember that you can find all of my stuff at christianaellis.com, and I'll talk to you tomorrow for 5 more minutes.